Hey, good afternoon. The first thing that we need to know for our proofs quiz on Friday, the 20th, we need to know what are those methods that we have to prove triangles are congruent. There are 5 of them. We have angle, side, angle. Or you know what, maybe I should start with side, side, side. That's what we started with when we learned them. So I'll start with side, side, side. Then we learned side, angle, side. And then we learned hypotenuse, leg. And now we've got our 2 angle proofs, angle, side, angle, and angle, angle, side. So those are the 5 methods we know to prove those are congruent. Why don't you look at our 4 pictures here. Identify if you have vertical angles or congruent sides by the reflexive property. Mark those in, and then after you've marked those in, try to identify these as one of my 5 properties. All right, so I would pause the video now, try it, and then unpause it and check your work. Then the first one we have, again, you can just identify these. We start at any side or angle you want, and then go to the closest angular side. So I start up here on the left, I go angle to a side to an angle. And then here I go from an angle to a side to an angle. So this would be angle, side, angle. B, we've got the reflexive property in the middle. All 3 sides are marked, so that is side, side, side. On this one we have vertical angles are congruent. And it looks like, again, I start with any side I want. And I'll go to any marked side, I guess. So here's my side. Then I connect to a side and I connect to an angle. Or here I have an angle, I have a side, or I have 2 sides in a row, and then an angle. So 2 sides in a row, and an angle, and that's not going to work. And the way that you can check that that's not going to work, if I write that backwards, which I am absolutely not going to do, but if I wrote it backwards, that would not be a good thing to put on a test, so don't use side, side, angle. That's not one of our 5 properties. So these, we would say, are not congruent. And 4, look at what I've got. The first thing that's setting off some alarm bells in my head, I've got right angles. So I have 2 right triangles. It looks like I have an angle, I have an angle and 2 sides. So an angle and then 2 sides. But that's not one of our properties unless I notice that this is a hypotenuse. That's a hypotenuse across from the right angle, and that's a leg. So that is hypotenuse, leg. And anytime you see those right angles or right triangles, that should be setting off some alarm bells in your brain that we've got hypotenuse, leg.